This is a GG remix collabo.
Can we talk? I wanna hear from you. I wanna hear your voice. I wanna hear your thoughts. Everything you gotta say.
Just understand that it's possible to make a change and come together.
Her Excellency wanted to come and do an urban arts forum at our place, and you know, I was shocked. I was really shocked. And also to find out that you know, part of her mandate was to talk about how youth and arts can contribute to a community and a community's development. So once I started to learn more about what the urban arts forums were about, I thought, what a perfect fit. What a perfect fit. And we could really gather a group of people who have made a difference in their communities, not knowing what was about to happen, not knowing that the children and people that who others kind of overlook in the daily lives would be the ones to make the greatest impact.
Nightmares will take control of your life if you are not wide awake. So way to go, bro. You just thrown your whole life away in exchange for some pills filled with temporary thrills that kills the will to build your skills because you thought it was ill. But on the real, like Jack and Jill, all that is going downhill. So how about you just chill for a moment and give it second thoughts. Reconstruct your plots, put down that weapon you bought, for God knows it's not needed. Even in the most heated situation, to be defeated by temptation only means that you are weak and impatient. I see a combination lock on your brain that you must decode. But since you don't know it, I suppose that's something you could just think about for now, as you sit there in death row.
Ew, we're all about words instead of weapons. Words is weapons, so listen. This is how it goes. Yo. I got a passion for microphone harassing, using words for killing like a lyrical assassin. And my ability is such, with great skill I've been known to kill with one touch. A clean hit that leaves no mark, lyrical dart, poisonous ink to penetrate the walls of the heart, reversing the flow of blood, causing you to collapse. A system crash with no time for you to react, but you step back, gasping heat. You're struggling to find the words to battle me, but you just can't breathe. You stand frozen in a state of utter disbelief. This MC diss you at a level that you'll never achieve. They say the pen is mighty, I'll swing it like a sword. You sure you wanna fight me? Cause survival is unlikely. I could leave you with an unsightly scar within the pages of your rhyme book, so that your peers won't even want to look. I'll write a song with a hook, mic in a clenched fist, and when I kick a lyric, you'll want meaning from the hip.
I put the rhythm in submission until it taps out. Stand up and punch lines while I try to knock the track out. Passed out, staring at the paper with the blackout. It needs to snap out. Reclaim the stage as my house.
When the Governor General held her forum here, I felt a sense of urgency in not only her message, but indeed the young ladies that spoke and openly read a letter to the Governor General, more or less a cry for help. And I felt that in my capacity as a member of a government that we have to do something.
I thought that what a brilliant opportunity to have these two young children read the letter on behalf of their class and bring awareness in this type of a forum. And not only that, but to invite the people here to our place on that night who could make a difference.
The community wanted to become part of the solution, and that's critical to any progressive community development.
I think what happened was we realized when the kids spoke that we hadn't done our job as adults. We hadn't said this has to be a safe community, and the kids, when they wrote that letter to the Governor General, was like kicking us in the ass and saying, get going, do something. And then Sandy and Chris came up with the something to do, and everybody said, it's the crack dealers, it's the crack dealers. And every one of the crack houses had 5 to 10 kids, you know, 12 to 16-year-old kids who were their runners, and those crack dealers were their role models. And we had to take that away from them.
I was at a meeting, and there was about 4 or 5 of us there, and thank goodness for a creative thinker like myself. They were talking about things that cops never worked, never did anything.
That's citizens on patrol.
Yeah, so I said, look, I said, why can't we, I know what happens on my street.
And I said, I know what happens on my street.
Yeah. So back at her place, we're saying, why can't we start something like that? Let's have street reps. They know what's going on.
So
brilliant idea. But she picked up on it.
Then we just used our home phone, and I made up the Point power line, because this is Point Douglas, and I wanted something that the power piece was important, that people would feel empowered, that this is our power. We can go here and get something done.
And it was just so beautifully simple.
And it fits very much with the Aboriginal culture of banishment. This is Terry and Sandy told us about this and said, you know, what happens in an Aboriginal community originally, if someone broke the mores, broke the rules of the band, they would be banished for a period of time. So what we're doing to the drug dealers, crack dealers particularly, is we're banishing them from Point Douglas for a period of time. And it's really working. I mean, we have quite a few of them have come back to live in Point Douglas, and they're not dealing anymore. We weren't big on throwing a bunch of people in jail, so we discovered this method of getting the dealers evicted, and the provincial government has set up this plan called the Community Safety Act, and they didn't need criminal code level of justice. They needed proof that it seemed like they were dealing, and they couldn't arrest them, but they could evict them, which was perfect for us. So we started getting these drug dealers evicted. Well, all these kids lost their jobs, and most of them went back to school.
And now 32 crack houses were closed in how?
Probably in the first year.
First year.
Now we can work with people, and that allows us to tailor our approaches from a solely enforcement-based approach, which is essential. We still have to, you know, arrest the bad guy, and you know, do our search warrants and do the enforcement-based strategies, but we also have to work in a more holistic manner, like I said, through policing, crime prevention, through social development with the prevention and intervention strategies.
I think government has to stop playing the role of being the savior of all. Government has to stop and listen every now and again. That in fact, young people like those two young ladies that I heard back in 2007 also have ideas of how they want to restore peace and harmony in North Point Douglas. And I took the comments that they made to the Governor General very seriously.
Instead of community members walking around afraid at night and stuff, the gang members started to crawl down the back lanes, and they were afraid of the community. And it was almost like a huge wave took over the community as people said, hey, they're afraid of us instead of us being afraid of them.
When children have a serious issue and a serious concern, that if caring and willing adults can gather around those children, that change can happen.
Talking to more people about the problems that people might be having, about like how they might be having problems about their family members, and how the family members might be getting addicted to some of the things that they didn't used to be doing, about what kind of area you're living in. Maybe you could tell someone about that.
Join clubs, try to stay safe, don't get into violence.
Getting into more programs to start telling people that that they can start working with you and all that.
This model would work in any community.
I really think so.